Alright, welcome back to Menu Heroes Digest. So, audio issues we had on my end, Thursday as well. I think I finally fixed it. If not, well, I guess I'll be switching to another microphone. But yeah, I'm your host, Steven.
I'm the co-host, Jordan, and I'm gonna try not to cuss. Wow. I swear.
I think that's the first time you've
I swear.
I think that's the first time you've actually identified yourself as the co-host. Moving up in the world, woo!
Well, okay.
You've just never done it before. It's a serious episode, I can tell.
I kind of did last episode, but that was because of the bit of like, hi, I'm Jordan T.I. Kearns.
That's true.
I moved here to Raccoon City, and all that stuff.
So, before we get any further, the background, which you can't see, but the audience can. This is art.
Blind.
This is art by Danny Mole, who worked on Castlevania Season 2 as a background artist. And I think it's really cool. I'll send it to you so you can see it, Jordan.
Please and thank you.
But yeah, it's a really nice background.
You didn't pay for anything, did you?
I didn't what?
You didn't pay for that, did you?
No.
You didn't have to.
No.
Okay, if you paid the artist directly, that's fine. But if you had to go on that auction, I would have lost all respect for you.
No, it's just a background that I don't know if it's free to use, but I didn't have to pay to use it, so I don't know. I gave credit. If somebody says something and wants me to take it down, we'll go from there, but This is from the show.
Right on.
Very nice.
Right
anyway, let's go on straight to our first story, which is from last year. CD Projekt Red, who you may know as the people behind The Witcher 3. You might also know them better as the people behind Cyberpunk 2077.
Well, to be fair, there were two other Witcher games they made before Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk.
So, a group of investors filed a class action lawsuit against CDPR. There's a lot of, legal mumbo-jumbo, but it comes down to when CD Projekt was unable to provide a game that was functional for the current generation of Xbox and PlayStation systems. They suffered reputational and pecuniary? I don't know how to say that word. Harm. And thus, the investors' statements about its business operations and prospects were materially false and misleading, which means that they suffered damages. People either lost respect for the investors or... Because, the investors are talking up CDPR and then they release Cyberpunk and it's like, uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. Well, to be fair, people are losing respect for investors already because almost all investors for any big tech company is screaming, do more with cryptocurrency, do more with NFTs, and that is making everybody mad. So, but I can understand this was like, oh man, we promise you we're gonna make you one of the best games ever made. It's gonna be ready by 2020, and the game was absolutely not ready. The people who actually developed and programmed the game were saying, please, just give us until 2021, late 2021, but still, this is not going to be ready by 2020. And that was before pandemic. They made that announcement, the CD Projekt made this announcement of the date, either like the 2018 or 2019, E3. I can't remember if it was when Keanu Reeves came out and they all said it's gonna be 2020 or not, but like
I remember
everybody
Keanu
who
Reeves.
was like on the front lines. Well, I do remember a bit of this game before Keanu Reeves. Like that was the one where everyone's like, "Oh man, this is the second coming of Jesus. This is gonna be the best game ever created. This will save humanity." And it just wasn't that. And I was, I mean, granted, there were other games I was more interested in at the time, but it was, before Keanu Reeves came out and, called everybody breathtaking, I had heard about the game. I know it's based on the tabletop RPG Cyberpunk from back in the 80s, or,
that's true, it is.
Anything.
I forget about
that.
that.
And I thought, okay, an actual game based about that, I think could be great. I think most tabletop RPGs, I think, can be done well and be made into a video game. Just you gotta put a lot of time and effort into that.
Like that werewolf game.
Yeah, Werewolf, unfortunately, did. Check out the last episode of our Menu Haters Digest to see what list did it end up on our best of worst of list.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well,
it is what it is. And you know what? It's not good.
Oh, man, we are spin hot fire.
So anyway, they settled this lawsuit out of court for $1,850,000.
Sounds like a lot of clams there, Steven.
It is a lot of clams. Now, this doesn't mean that Cyberpunk, CD Projekt is, saying, yeah, we messed up. It's not them admitting that or anything. So some of the motivations are because legal proceedings in the US are, like, expensive and long. And it doesn't matter what the court decides, people are going to lose money. And that's basically it. That's all it boils down to, costs.
I will say, I know, not really game related, but back the summertime of last year, that was the whole debacle of Scarlett Johansson and her lawyers, like about to get into a big court battle with Disney and all that, and they did eventually had to sell things out of court just so they could could save face, and that Scarlett Johansson can and would be interested in coming back to do other Disney stuff. But that was a whole nightmare itself, and I actually watched a few videos on YouTube that explain more about the details and why a lot of companies do decide to sell things out of court, just so they don't waste more time and resources and more importantly money on a case that they very well might lose, or maybe not lose, but would make them look bad in the public's eye.
It's also better from a PR standpoint to not drag out court cases. Also, it's very convenient if you have something to hide, which someone in the comments points out, and this might just be conspiracy theorying, but Jeffrey Wharf of Kotaku fame, I don't know, he says a settlement means they didn't want the case to proceed through discovery. They're hiding something. Which, I mean, some people will settle because they don't want things to become public knowledge. That is the thing that does happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of on Rob's side here, who is the famous Kotaku person underneath Jeffrey Wharf, who's like, this could just be just a planner, a cheaper plan,
Yeah.
Making sure, even if they won PR, it'd be a PR nightmare, and it just ruined the company's reputation anyway. So, I mean, I can see both. I could see a bit of former, a bit of latter.
Oh yeah, I think they just settled for money. Yeah, I don't think they're actually hiding anything. You know, they've already been, you know, people have already blasted them for not only this, but comments they've made in the past about, like, trans.
Oh.
Uh-oh. What have I done?
Yes.
Did I unlock memories?
What have you done?
Uh,
No, I mean, my first thought was, like, granted, like, no one should ever be given death threats, or no one should ever send death threats to other people, but there was that whole, like, cyber hacker, like, group, a dead set that was threatening to unveil and, like, leak out all kinds of private information of, like, the CEOs and various executives throughout the CD Projekt company.
oh, yeah, something similar happened to J.K. Rowling. Except they, like, actually doxed her. Like, they gave people her actual address, and it's like, I don't like her, but that's not cool. You can't just, like, go around killing people like that. I get it's very dangerous rhetoric that she's spreading. But,
Well,
you know, all it serves to do when you, do stuff like that, when you dox people, all it really does is give them ammunition to be like, see? They're violent, they're bad people. Even though, you know...
I was about to say, like, she can easily now play off the, like, see, you know, I'm trying to be open-minded. I'm trying to talk to people and state my opinions. They're the ones trying to attack me, and it's just like you basically made her a martyr for all, like...
Yes.
Not just for anti-trans, but for anybody who was uncertain or very on the fence of trans issues in the first place, and being like, oh, I mean, nobody can be good for threatening somebody on the internet, so screw those trans folks and everything. And so it's made, you know.
Yeah, it's not helped. Alright, so let's move off of serious stuff to something that, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter and nobody actually cares about this. Like, I don't know a single person who has a valid opinion about this at all. Everyone who's throwing a fit about it is just a big old baby.
Excuse me, Steven?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's Castlevania's anniversary!
Okay.
Woo! And you know what that means? That means...
Yes.
NFTs. Oh, by the way, I made this image, guys. I did this in Photoshop. I'm gonna send it to you because you have to see what I did. It's beautiful.
I was gonna let you speak throughout the entire thing just to wait and see what you're going for, because if you were gonna mention that the legacy of the Castlevania franchise was somehow worthless in the long run, I would have cussed you out.
You would have cried
right then and there.
Oh my god! I like me some Castlevania.
I just saw the image you sent me, and I'm both laughing and crying on the inside, just simultaneously.
I threw that together before the show. I took graphic design in high school.
Told me somebody made this beforehand, and graphic design is my passion.
Graphic design was like the best class I took in high school. I was like the most depressed at that point in time, but I learned skills that I still use today. And my teacher, I didn't do all the assignments because, like I said, I was going through a lot of crap. And he still passed me. I probably shouldn't have passed that class, but he passed me. He was very understanding.
Well, hey, you know, it's nice to have teachers like that. Those who actually care.
You know, it's funny because he was a gym teacher. And, you know, you usually don't think about gym teachers like that, but some gym teachers are really nice. Anyway, NFTs.
I think they're nice. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you can say your opinion.
Yeah, it's like it's like I want to talk about this and get mad, but also I was about to say, like, oh, I actually remember like two gym teachers that actually were pretty good to me. One was an old man and one was like a German immigrant and everything. I was ready to go into that long thing, and then I had to remember the cold, harsh reality that I live in a world where people actually think that they can sell a GIF or an image, and that could make them millions of dollars and make them super, rich and everything, and that not be the dumbest thing in the entire world.
Oh my god!
And one of those people is a company that owns some of my favorite gaming franchises.
KONAMI.
And I got more depressed. I kind of felt like what you felt like back then. So thank you.
Thanks for comparing my crippling depression and suicidal tendencies to KONAMI making NFTs. That's the greatest thing I've ever heard. Like, I genuinely think that's hilarious. It's like when Matt Pat on
At
game.
least one of us is happy.
It's like on film theory where Matt Pat, he compared the blowing up of the Death Star to 9/11, and he did it with a straight face, and I just couldn't handle it. I'm like he just straight faced compared the blowing up of the Death Star to 9/11. We're gonna get dislikes on this video for that.
We want so badly to talk about something else that isn't NFTs, and that there are 3 stories we have this week that are somewhat related to NFTs.
Hey, that's not my fault.
I know I'm to blame, okay? But I couldn't find anything else interesting. I couldn't, I haven't played Halo Infinite. I can't give my review. I can't give you my thoughts on it. But just I can give you my thoughts on Castlevania and Silent Hill, because I actually care about those franchises. Apparently, Konami doesn't, because their big plan for the 35th anniversary for one of their landmark franchises that has been a staple for their company for literal decades is just putting up an auction where you can buy GIFs, clips, and images of stuff from the old games.
Yeah, I saw that. It's not even new art.
No! It literally is just clips from the game. The original 8-bit game. And maybe some artwork from, the mobile game that nobody likes. Heck of a way to celebrate the 35th anniversary. Beloved by people across the world. Yeah, great job, Konami.
Oh my god.
Just outdo yourselves there, you hacks.
Oh my god, you hacks.
And again, we have talked about a lot of behind the scenes of all the terrible things that's happened with Activision, with Ubisoft, and even though we haven't gone too much into EA yet, there's plenty of examples of them messing around, or them just treating their workers unfairly, or just buying up different smaller gaming studios and then shutting them down just because they didn't make them all the money in the world. But still, Konami should be in that epsilon of terrible big companies that have access to some beloved, phenomenal franchises that hurts me to my core. Because it's not just Castlevania, it ain't just Silent Hill, it ain't even just Metal Gear. Which, again, the moment that Hideo Kojima left the company, they made that awful zombie Metal Gear game that is so bland and forgettable that, I just now remembered it. But also, Konami bought, Hudson B at some point, a few years ago, and so they also own Bomberman.
Oh, wow. So
great. Yeah. So don't expect the game for that to be coming out anytime soon, unless it's a mobile game or a frickin' pachinko.
A mobile Bomberman could probably work, though. Just because, it's a puzzle game.
It could.
How can you mess up a puzzle
But also,
game?
a launcher game also would work as a mobile game, but they screwed that one up.
Which one?
The Contra mobile game.
Oh.
It sucks.
It sucks.
Yeah. I'm not being nice. I'm not sugarcoating. It sucks.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and also they own they own the rights to Yu-Gi-Oh. Are they technically speaking own Yu-Gi-Oh now? So expect some Yu-Gi-Oh NFTs coming soon.
Oh god.
Or maybe they already made it. I don't know.
Yu-Gi boy, I've turned your grandfather
Yeah.
into an NFT. Grandfather, no!
Right-click me, Yugi! Right-click me!
I just gotta believe in the heart of the cards. The heart of the cards isn't worth anything.
It's a sad world we live in, Steven. It's
Sad.
a real sad world.
I
There
guess
hasn't been a Silent Hill game in 11 years. There was gonna be, and then they just canceled it.
all right.
Again, I don't believe in rumors. I don't pay attention to them, but there's always been a rumor floating around that Sony might buy some of the gaming rights of some of Konami's properties. And while Sony is far from perfect, I believe if any of their studios got their hands on any of the big franchises that Konami has, I'd jump for joy.
It'd be an improvement.
I'd sing to the heavens if that were true.
The only downside
a huge improvement.
It would probably be a PlayStation exclusive.
Yes, but also at the very least, at least there's a better chance that people who would care about these franchises or would have some new ideas or something interesting could be doing something with them
instead of just letting them sit there.
Because again, there has been, it's game Konami released on consoles last year was FIFA 2022. And that was considered one of the worst games. I know we neither of us talked about that, but a lot of gaming websites and gaming YouTube channels talked about oh man, that game was garbage. Konami, what were you thinking? And
I thought about adding it, but
I can tell you,
it felt like low-hanging fruit.
I kept my list of things I actually experienced.
Yeah, it's same.
Or at least things that I have. And again, I witnessed Taishogun. I have witnessed Taxi Chaos. I have witnessed the game that shall not be named because I don't want to give our channel a strike or anything.
Oh.
But
H Evil.
Yeah. H versus Evil. Yes. Such a waste of my money. I'm so embarrassed.
Oh my god, I can't believe you bought it.
But
That's the
man,
best part.
I'm human, Steven. I have needs. Okay.
Oh my god. Anyway,
you know what I need right now? I need something Castlevania related that isn't just a glyph.
All right, so
I need more, man.
we should probably move on.
We will move on. I know. We'll move on.
So,
all right.
In slightly better news, Sega announced NFT plans earlier, and then they recently said, "Oh, never mind. You guys don't like that. We probably won't do it." And so that's good. I have a picture for this. It's just a Sega logo. Boom, there it is. All right. So
Yeah.
next up, not NFT related, Final Fantasy. It's a series that is loved by many. It's fun. It's known for its, final and its fantasy-ness.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
They keep saying it's final, but this man keeps going.
Well, it's usually
that was low-hanging fruit.
The final actually usually refers to it's supposed to be the final fantasy of that world. Because almost none of the Final Fantasy games are connected.
Yeah, I mean, I know the backstory of Final Fantasy is that the original company, Squaresoft, was almost close to being full-on bankruptcy or about to close off, and they said, "Okay, this will be the final game. We'll do an RPG. We'll go out. We'll hopefully turn out good, but hey, chances are all the other games have not worked out. So
well, we're going out of business anyway.
We'll go out And it became one of their most massive it became the franchise they are known for.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, and it took the world by storm. Took young teenage me, just completely, just blew my mind. Like, oh, these crazy worlds, all these monsters, and all those cute anime girls and handsome anime boys. Oh man, what am I doing? What's my sexuality? What's happening?
Oh my god. It's true though, isn't it? That's what happened.
Yeah. That's the bisexual agenda, just constantly confusing you with hot anime boys and hot anime girls. Like, which do I like? Oh, what do I choose? Oh no.
All right, so Final Fantasy, there is some concern that it's gonna be exclusive to PlayStation again. So for the longest time, Final Fantasy was a Nintendo-only property, actually. And then they made the N64, and Square was like, "Oh, well, this isn't powerful enough," or No, the reason was it didn't hold enough data. The cartridge wouldn't hold enough data for the game, so they ended up going to the PlayStation, and that started, a lifetime partnership with PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's, again, growing with Sega and then having to switch over to PlayStation, like, that's how I experienced Final Fantasy. That's how I knew about it. Surprisingly, though, like, it wasn't Final Fantasy 7 that I got into, it was 8 and onward that I officially, got more familiar with the franchise. So, yeah. I know, it's weird, because 7 is considered to be the best of the best, considered to be the most beloved one of all of them. And I haven't really experienced it, but,
I haven't really either,
Square Enix, there was a bunch of... Well, thankfully there was, like, a sale on, like, the Nintendo eShop where a bunch of, like, Square Enix games were on sale, and
yeah,
I
actually
bought 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, I bought 7 a while ago. I also bought the Collection of Mana.
Again, I would have bought one of the Mana games, but I wasn't sure which one to get. Like, I know they're also beloved, but it's like having a hard time remembering, like, which one should I buy first, or do I need to buy one in particular order, or...
That's why I just got
I did get a couple of the Dragon Quest games.
Nice. I thought about getting some of those.
The only one I've ever played before was 8.
I've been playing Shin
I really like that one.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 lately.
Oh, good. How is it?
It's a fun game. I really like it. It's not something I would play for the channel.
I will get soon. I love Atlas. I am thinking, like, they do get mature. Like, all the Atlas, like, RPG games, they do get pretty mature, so.
But they're fun.
I had some, yeah. But,
I really want to play Persona
definitely.
5 at some point. I just don't have a PlayStation.
It's really good, dude. I played Persona 4. That was the first one I ever played. Then I went back to 3. It's like 5 is solid, dude. I do have a bit more of a attention to 4 because that was the first one I ever played. But I'd say 5 is also a pretty solid game. It is definitely worth checking out.
All right. So, moving on.
Yes.
We go on a lot of tangents. There's like 5 minutes of news and then 20 of us talking.
Well, I mean, we could talk about, like, some of the things that the Square Enix CEO has said, but it's NFT related, and
No, we'll.
I'm already exhausted. I'm exhausted.
We'll move
anyway,
on.
It's just like, I will say, beware Konami, and keep an eye on Square Enix, because they're heading down a dark path.
Okay. So.
But, yeah.
Speaking
of dark paths,
I'll let you do it.
Okay, all right. So, oh man. Now this one also was a story that came out last year. It was like either second to last week of December. But I am just now hearing about this, and it hits kind of close to home because arcades, because again, grew up in the '90s, having at least like one console at your home, you couldn't play all the games, So arcades were a good way to like look around and try different games out. Hey, you just pop in a couple quarters and get experience of a cool fighting game or some kind of like platformer that you've heard about, but it wasn't available on the console you had. So arcades were a fun environment to be in, while they were still around. Because it was probably like the 2000s-ish, the beginning of the 2000s, where they were starting to disappear, especially in my area. So, to hearing that there was a place in New Orleans that had a pretty feasible or
sizable,
there was arcades. Sizable, arcade store that had that had done decent business and was beloved by the community. To see it be attacked and ravaged is sad.
Yeah.
And this is I found two different news sources, gamingbible.co and the what was it, the New Orleans Times, I think, or WWL. It's like a local New Orleans. Okay. So anyway, again, in New Orleans there is a arcade place, Sea Cave Arcade and Bar. One of its patrons, just a guy known as the Wolf.
God, that's a red flag.
Basically has been, already dude who clearly has an obsession with Pulp Fiction, other Quentin Tarantino stuff. That's our red flag right there. Those movies are good, but I've known some people who have wrapped their whole identities around either Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs, and I don't want to be around them anymore. And clearly people should not be around this guy because he was being a rather rude patron, just being, just making all kinds of uncomfortable remarks and just being rude to a lot of other customers and staff members and everything. So, and even though it's an arcade place, they don't have, they do decent business, but aren't making big gangbusters. But even then, this guy was constantly pushing people around, and they eventually had to say, "Enough's enough. You gotta go, dude. You're banned here."
Yeah.
So on December 4th, this guy decided to walk around. This guy started to walk around with a supermarket price gun, and just covered the arcade cabinets with stickers and everything, and just sending out sending out death threats around people, and it's asking if you were interested in dying and everything around other customers, and eventually the store owner, Leah something, or let me double check.
Judah Lee.
Store owner. Yeah, Judah Lee. Yeah, she had to revoke this guy's membership because he was just becoming way too out of control, just going crazy, and the dude was flashing a knife around and everything, and telling everybody he owned an assault rifle. It's no, it's hard enough to get people inside stores. It's hard enough to get people inside an arcade store, and for this guy to just walk around trying to threaten people and everything, no, ban this guy. Call security, get him out of here, or call police to get him out of here. And it's just. Ugh.
Yeah, so...
But it gets worse, folks. It gets even worse, because 30 minutes later, the Wolf, returned and allegedly trapped customers and employees inside by locking the front doors with bike lock, and began smashing windows, just being a literal monster. Just being, I'm surprised they hadn't said this guy just flat turned to a werewolf right then and there and just started attacking people. He he seemed like he was that close to doing it too. Okay, so thankfully, people were able to slip through the back door. But it was like by the time the police had arrived, the wolf had gone away. You know, I think they said that he was seen carrying around an axe, like in the early mornings of the next day, and was just like smashing up things around the arcade and everything. I actually had gone back and smashed arcade machines, expensive arcade machines that it's hard to replace because. I've seen some documentaries about like arcade cabinets and how difficult they are to replicate and everything. So, who knows what kind of rare games that probably are it's going to take a long time to repair or just may never be repaired.
Yeah, there's arcade machines that are just gone forever now. But at least the customers were safe. The owner did, he did what he could, and I feel really bad for him because. He even said that it was 6 years of work that he had put into this, and it was all because some stupid guy, some stupid alpha wolf, decided, I'm gonna take a price tag gun and shoot this video game machine with it. He recently became a member, and it cost money to become a member. So the owner refunded the membership fee, which is better than I would have done if this man was in my business and destroying my stuff, and asked him to leave. That's when he pulled the knife and he started doing the threats, and then he came back with a bike lock of all things. Just insane. Christmas spirit, y'all.
We hear it's like, some people want to have the attitude of like, death threats and online bullying. Man, like that ain't no big deal, man. It's better than regular bullying. But it's like some of those people it's like some people honestly like think that it's all just threats, that there's nobody's going to really do anything like that, but. We've seen time and time again, people can get absolutely crazy and just get super entitled, and some people just cannot handle being told no and being told you're not allowed to do this. We have seen that, especially in these last couple of years. People react, viciously, violently towards that. And it's like, it's no longer just a thing online. It's no longer just an anonymous person online. It truly is like, or just people. Either this is what some people have always been, or just by the simple fact that like they've been used to doing this kind of thing on the internet, and now they think they can actually pull that off in real life. And this guy almost did that. This guy almost severely harmed or even potentially killed somebody because someone told him no. Someone told him you gotta stop that.
Yeah.
That's
a level of entitlement we can't tolerate.
Yeah. And this is from two white guys, okay? When we're saying you've gone too far, you know that means that's some serious business.
Yeah, yo. We're white.
We are.
Very pertinent to the conversation.
But hey, it's best if we kind of speak this thing out just to let our people know they're going too far, just to keep ourselves in check,
Do better.
Yes, please.
Alright, so talking about wild beasts destroying stuff and being overall scary.
Yeah.
Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's coming. It's coming soon.
Yeah. And now this might be just me because I am recently playing Breath of the Wild, or I'm catching up. I know, like I'm 4 years behind everybody else, I know, but I want to get ready for the next game. I've been playing that. I'm almost finished completing that. I literally just got the Master Sword, freed all the Divine Beasts, just now go around different places in Hyrule, like updating the map and everything. But the thing is, seeing this new trailer for Pokemon Legends Arceus, even though there was a trailer a few months ago, this one really is making you think that it's meant to be Pokemon Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I know open world RPGs have been a thing for a while. I understand that, but this one, especially this trailer begins with the Breath of the Wild style piano music that they play. You notice that?
I'll be honest, I haven't watched the trailer because I never got around to it. I've seen a lot of the game, so I knew what we were getting into when we were going to talk about this, and I've read about the trailer. It's interesting that you say that you feel like it's Breath of the Wild, because I've heard the opposite. I've heard a lot of people say they thought it looked like Breath of the Wild at the beginning, but the more they've seen of it, the more they feel like it feels like Monster Hunter.
I mean, a bit, I can see that, but it just, the very beginning of the trailer starts with the... Okay, this is me trying to do a piano music, and I'm terrible at it. I'm sorry, but imagine that a piano version of that, and it's very similar to
Breath of the Wild's
certain moments in to the music in Breath of the Wild. Yes, so that was like, oh, okay, so this is feeling more like Breath of the Wild than I thought it would, and I will say though that I experienced it more with Monster Hunter Rise. I can see the comparisons to it, because considering how Monster Hunter Rise, it has a very feudal Japan, aesthetic to it, and this game does as well. So I can see there's also that elements to it as well. But my point being, like, these aren't the first, like, Breath of the Wild and Monster Hunter Rise are not the first games to do these kind of elements.
Oh yeah, no.
And I don't think they should be the only two games to do that. I am open. I'm excited for this one. This is definitely the most anticipated I've been for a Pokemon game in a long while. Yeah, and by all means, I'm really excited for this. And my mind, I just went to like all the various Nuzlocke you see on YouTube and other Twitch and all places, and this one where your main character truly is in danger from Pokemon, and I'm like, oh man, Nuzlocke's gonna be really interesting for this game.
That's if you can even do Nuzlocks.
I would think you can. Well, again, it depends on how hard it is.
It depends on if I guess someone will develop rules for it. It will happen.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Yes. One thing I did say for the trailer though is like they're showing mostly movement from your playable character, from your trainer. There's only been a couple scenes I've noticed of that you summon a Pokemon and they stand in one place. You might be able to move that Pokemon, but it seems like from what I've seen, it looks like the Pokemons are more stationary, to where you unleash them on a certain spot and they do their actions, and you're mostly focused on your character moving around. Like, and I'm not completely like I'm a bit concerned by that, but also I kind of understand, like, okay, having to control both your trainer character and also the Pokemon you've summoned out and trying to like maneuver them together, I'm sure that would be kind of a nightmare, especially in game development wise. But
yeah, because it would mean Game Freak would actually have to put effort into it. Look, I love Pokemon. But Game Freak is really lazy. Like, people... Yeah, I think... A lot of people complain about the graphics, and, graphics aren't everything. But I've seen what Pokemon can look like with beautiful graphics. And not just, like, because fans have made mods or they've made their own, like, renders. No! New Pokemon Snap shows us that Pokemon can be gorgeous. And I sincerely believe that Bandai Namco should be in charge of the graphics for the Pokemon series. Because they did new Pokemon Snap, and they did amazing.
I would be okay with them doing more Pokemon games. Like, no notes on there. I agree with you on that. It is funny because I probably, like, at least 6 years ago, maybe 5, I would have been more defensive of Pokemon. I would have been like, "Oh, come on, guys! Like, there's a lot you gotta program and stuff. You gotta stop being so harsh on them. You know, they're doing their best." And I don't know. I've stopped giving like big companies any leeway or any kind of sympathy because like they got the resources, they got the money. Pokemon is the biggest like property franchise.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest multimedia franchises.
Yeah, so it's like you've got the money. You could give your games a little more time to, bake and to like, debug and to like, add the right features. Not that, I understand less is more sometimes, but obviously like we have seen them like cut back on features just because they got to reach a mandate. They got to reach a quota. They got to make sure this thing is released so they can make their annual like profit margins. Yeah. So yeah, I'm here hoping that Pokemon Legends Arceus is a step in the right direction, that they are trying new different things and are, hopefully push Pokemon games to be a little better.
I mean, thank God they're doing something different. I like Pokemon, but it is very formulaic. And it does get stale. There's a reason I don't binge the Pokemon games. I play them here and there, but I won't binge them anymore.
I mean, I'll pick a Pokemon game to try and complete, but I think of now, I especially now, I feel like I'm okay with giving myself a year or two break from Pokemon. When they really have something real good or something really exciting, then I'll get into it. Because, as I said, man, that demo for Sword and Shield, for I think Pokemon Sword, I was
not impressed.
Man, I feel like I wasted a lot of breath trying to defend that game. Trying to be like, oh, come on, guys, give it a chance. Let's wait till the game comes out. Come on, guys. Let's we keep talking trash talking Pokemon. They keep doing good stuff. Let's give them a chance. And
then they did not do good stuff.
And I just don't care.
Uh-huh.
I love the property. I love the franchise. I'm always excited to see what new Pokemon they can create. But
I love Pokemon. I love the designs. I love the creatures. I love Mystery Dungeon. But I'm burnt out on the games. I'm burnt out on the cards. I'm burnt out on the majority of Pokemon just because, the fan base is so toxic. Everything's about meta this and meta that. Oh, use this team and you'll win. And it's like, this is just boring. But, let's talk about something not boring.
Yeah, the trailer for Showa American Story is anything but boring. It is a very interesting, weird alternate timeline where Japan maybe invaded America, perhaps? Or at the very least, like how in the 60s there was a big, British invasion, quote unquote, where it's like a lot of teenagers were big into British pop music and everything. So
the Beatles,
maybe that's what's kind of happened in this alternate timeline where, hey, maybe we weren't immediately hating the Japanese. Maybe we didn't immediately hate the Japanese. As soon as the 60s were, as soon as the 50s, 60s were done. But it's also a post-apocalyptic future with zombies and some people with superpowers and everything. It is. I will say it's a bit weird, but I feel like it's a fun kind of
weird.
I think it has the potential to not necessarily be the next Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, because it does feel more third-person-y, but with the camera right behind the main character, kind of. As I said, it's hard to really describe this, but it has an interesting, cool vibe to it that I am excited to see, and I'm keeping my eyes on this. I hope it's real good, because I felt the trailer at least caught my attention.
Okay.
Now, I did not put this on the list, but there was a new trailer for Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Do you want to talk about that real quick?
I actually was gonna mention that because
Okay, cool.
I haven't actually watched it yet, to be honest. I've read a little bit about it, but I'm excited for the game. Okay.
I am out here in the ocean looking for a raft, looking for a life preserver, something to hold on to, but I am given nothing.
Hey, it's fine. I'll watch it right now. We'll do a live blind react.
Let's do it. Let's watch. I'm okay with that. I thought the trailer was cute. I'm just now that one I would have understood if you didn't see it because I didn't put on the list because it just now came out today and I wanted to give a quick rundown. Like, okay, is there any major news that came out today or yesterday that I missed and I wanted to at least briefly talk about before we start the show? And that was the only thing that really caught my eye.
Oh, I messed up somehow. Oh well. Alright.
Can you briefly summarize it? Why is TikTok... Okay, first of all, why are there ads for TikTok on YouTube in the very first place? But also,
hold
why
on.
is there still ads... Okay.
Alright, so that was like 15-30 seconds wasted because the video was too loud and I couldn't hear you. What? What were you talking about?
I was just saying I just put up YouTube and they had an ad for TikTok. It was for like when they're dumb, like short Christmas things. And my first thought was, why is there an ad for TikTok on YouTube in the first place? And B, why are they still having ads for their Christmas stuff? It's over. It's done.
All right, so let's.
Wasn't all that great of Christmas anyway.
Let's watch this trailer now that I have the volume turned down.
Okay.
It's the Kirby.
Kirby.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah. This game can do 2-player.
Ooh. I mean, Xander and I could probably play it.
Oh yeah, and yeah, it's really cool. It was like Bandana D is like the second player.
Fishing.
Every game's gotta have fishing.
Gosh.
Every game's gotta have fishing. I feel like the flying's gonna be like a just only like a hub world thing.
Yeah.
I mentioned it. Did you get to the part with like Kirby with a gun?
Yeah, I just got past it.
Okay. That's all everyone's talking about right now on the comment section. Like,
Kirby with
finally,
a gun.
Kirby's got a gun.
All right, so.
Yeah, this one I'm also looking forward to.
Yeah, it comes out in March.
Even though
I'm gonna buy it. So let's talk about real quick. You mentioned the flying. It does look like that's gonna be how you travel between levels. So it doesn't look like it's gonna be true open world, but it's a 3D environment Kirby goes through. I don't think there's actually been a true Kirby game that's been set in a 3D environment.
I'm thinking maybe the N64.
No, that one
Kirby
was
something.
That one was also a side scroller.
Okay, so it was side scroll, but the environments were 3D. Okay, all right.
But like this has 3D, environments. So what were you gonna say?
Other than Kirby has a gun.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I think it's kind of funny that like March is going to be the month where we not only have Kirby but also Batman.
Is that the
and I'm
Batman movie?
Yeah, the Robert Pattinson Batman movie.
I'm actually gonna go see that.
I definitely want to see that, man. That one looks really interesting.
DC movies have never been my big, interest, but
I like Wonder Woman. I like Aquaman. I thought the last Suicide Squad movie was actually pretty good. Well, actually, was really good. The Suicide Squad by James Gunn. I gotta make it very clear which one I'm talking about. But I think this year, all the DC movies they're releasing this year, are all pretty interesting. I have mixed feelings for Flash. That's because who they got playing Flash, I am not completely sold on him. But maybe this might turn around, and I'm going to give that a fair shake. But the reason why I brought up Kirby and Batman coming out the same month is I'm secretly kind of hoping the internet does the same thing they did with Isabelle from Animal Crossing and Doom Guy, have them being best friends. Doom Guy from Doom. Yes, I'm hoping the internet had a field day with them coming out in the same month, and having Isabelle and Doom Guy being best friends, and
it was great.
There's a part of me that kind of wants to see the exact same thing for Kirby and Batman. I think that'd be some fun memes could come from that.
Like Kirby sucks up Batman and he doesn't get any powers in return.
No, he just all has all the memories of Bruce Wayne, so he feels sad.
Oh no, we get to see Batman's parents die again.
And Parappa the Rapper's right behind him.
Oh my god.
This is where you watch your parents like, oh.
Oh my god. Those Parappa memes were fantastic.
Oh man. I had a good kick on that. There's some good animation for those memes too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But speaking of animation.
Oh yeah, our final story.
Yes. We are okay. It is kind of funny that we are become every episode we're doing is either something NFT related or something Netflix related. And I dread the day we have to cover a story involving Netflix getting to NFTs.
Oh god.
I'm sorry I willed that into existence. I'm sorry I even mentioned that. But I'm bracing for that day, dude.
Oh.
Anyway, Brian Lee O'Malley, the creator of Scott Pilgrim, is set to write and produce the new anime coming to Netflix.
What is this new anime, you say? Or did you say it and I just
Steven, what's an anime?
it?
No, I was just saying...
Well, you might have said it and I just completely missed it.
Again, it is based on,
Scott Pilgrim.
Well, it's Scott Pilgrim. Creator Brian Lee O'Malley is writing and producing the series. So this is from the Hollywood Reporter. They broke the story just a while ago. Also, the showrunner for this is the same guy who did Are You Afraid of the Dark, which is Ben David Gabinski. Is that the original Are You Afraid of the Dark, or is that are they doing a new Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I think they've done a new one.
Okay. I was wondering how old the original showrunner for that one is, if he's still doing stuff. But
I mean, he might still be alive. That's what, a '90s show?
Oh yeah, I think it was
late '80s.
Now, Are You Afraid of the Dark? That was originally a Canadian produced show from back when Nickelodeon was starting out, and that could be '89, but I think it is entering the '90s. So yeah. But anyway, oh yeah. Also, Edgar Wright, the director of the 2010 movie, is going to be involved with the anime. See, at least he's going to be executive producer. So, I really like that movie. I thought that is one of the best anime slash video game live action adaptations we've had. Even though like it's just based on like based on a manga that isn't really Japanese, but you know it's still the manga is still pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm like, does it count if it's like American?
I mean, if it did, I mean, actually, I think it's Canadian.
Oh, my bad. Canadian.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like,
hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Canada's still in North America, so they're still Americans. They're just North Americans.
Yeah. They're the most north of North Americans. You know. So, anyway, we're not here to discuss about the merits of manga and comic books and what counts as what now. We're here to talk about Scott Pilgrim, which is, which was a great manga series and also a really cool movie in 2010 that, I remember seeing in theaters, having a blast, but ultimately did not make a whole lot of money back then. People thought it was too weird, but it still holds on. It has a very strong cult following. I'm always cool. I'm always down for seeing it again. So anyway, the studio that will be animating this will be Science Saru, which has done who's done productions for Devilman Crybaby, Night is Short, Walk On Girl, and Ping Pong the Animation.
Uh-huh.
I have seen at least 2 of those shows. The animations for them are out there, dude. Like, and they're not afraid to go very psychedelic with some of their like trippier moments. But still, the animation is, for the most part, really good. But also, there's a few times that feels very exaggerated, even for an anime.
Uh-huh.
There were a couple memes based around the Devilman Crybaby anime. I'm sure you can find them out there. Like all the weird running animations they've done. I still thought it was pretty good.
And you might be wondering, why are we talking about this on a gaming channel?
Okay, Scott Pilgrim has been like the heart and soul, or like at least like a physical manifestation of everything geek and pop culture. Okay, it has covered anime, it has covered video games, it has covered obscure movies from the 80s and 90s. It has gone through the gambit of all things nerdom, all things you see at Hot Topic and FYE. So I think it does count in gaming.
I mean, it's a... Did you not know there's a Scott Pilgrim versus the World game?
Well, yeah, but also, like, there's yes, and that game is really good. But also, I want to point out, like, there is plenty of video game references in Scott Pilgrim, both the manga and in the movie.
We've talked about
I think
Marvel
that should still
before,
count for our video game show. True.
So, it's not always just video game stuff. It doesn't always have to be just video games.
We've talked about board games on our show, like
but
things
that's obviously gaming because board game.
That's old school gaming, bro.
Yeah, for the old people in the crowd.
Like me.
Oh my god.
Now bring me my prune juice, you ankle biter.
Oh my god. That's beautiful.
Anyway, this is actually not the first time they've done like animated Scott Pilgrim stuff, because Adult Swim did run like some segments back right before the movie came out, which was called Scott Pilgrim versus the Animation. Again, they were just a bunch of shorts that would play like in between certain other shows, and overall they were pretty good, and they played more. The art style was definitely faithful to the original manga, so like I imagine the art style was going to be at least close to that, and overall, I think like Netflix. I know people talk about like at least there's a whole meme based around like how bad Netflix can get in terms of like adaptations.
Yeah.
But I would say their actual animation stuff has been kick ass. Obviously, I will not shut up about the Arcane League of Legends show that just came out last year.
You will not.
But also, like, again, also Castlevania. Those are two things I won't ever shut up about. I will talk about those things until the heat death of the earth, which may actually come pretty sooner if all this NFT crap keeps going on. But
and if the
other than that, there's been
shifting.
Yeah. But anyway, also other great animated shows on Netflix has been The Dragon Prince. Like, that one was a great show. There's a cool She-Ra reboot that came out in 2018 that I think had a really solid ending.
Yeah.
Also there was Hilda. I was trying to tell you and Kim about that show a while back, and that one is so delightful and charming.
It is. I've only seen like bits and pieces because Xander watched it, but it's very cute.
Oh, and the Carmen Sandiego reboot, that's also a good one too.
Yeah.
So
I need to catch up on that.
I feel bad for saying I haven't. I've seen the last 3 seasons. I have not finished the last season. I intend to pretty soon, but overall, I thought it was really good. Yeah, I thought they had a really good idea for adapting Carmen Sandiego, making, because most of the time it was like Carmen Sandiego was like the woman you would like trying to catch, and there's always be like some kind of agency trying to track her down. But I also find there was some even more nefarious criminal that was even more dangerous than Carmen Sandiego. They got get first, and she may or may not have helped them catch that criminal and everything. But this show, they made her much more of a good guy, and I thought her arc and her story, I thought was very interesting.
Yeah,
very well done. So, I mean, got anything else more to say? Any more stories that have yet to pop out yet? Or anything else going on?
I think that is. I think that's it.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us again. Hopefully I don't have the audio issues, and I hope we'll see you next week. And until then, stay cool.
Remember, NFTs, not effing tolerating this.